Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making butter mochi, which hails from Hawaii. So if you've never had or heard of butter mochi before, it's a delightful confection that's both bouncy and chewy and sweet. Often it contains, of course, butter and coconut milk, and the rice flour that is used comes from sweet or glutinous rice, so it has a great sticky, chewy texture. The first time I had it was in an Emmy Eats Hawaii video from a long time ago, and I will put a link down below to that video in case you missed it. I had some treats that were sent to me from Hawaii, including a butter mochi mix, but I had it for the first time in Hawaii a few years ago, and it is lovely. I've never made it myself, so we're going to be doing that today just so I can test it and try it. It looks so simple and easy to make. So the recipe I'm going to be testing out today comes from Alana Kaisar, and this comes from her article in The Kitchen, and I will put a link in the description box to that as well. And according to her article, the origin story of butter mochi is believed to come from a Filipino dessert called bibingka, which is a rice cake that's often wrapped in a banana leaf or adapted and combined with a Japanese treat called chichidango, which is a chewy rice-based confection as well that contains coconut milk. So many people came to Hawaii to work the sugar plantations, including Japan, the Philippines, and Portugal. So we are going to be making butter mochi. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to need a large bowl, a couple large bowls actually, and my cast of characters. So first we're going to combine our dry ingredients into a large bowl. We're going to be using 1 pound, or in this case 1 box of mochiko. Mochiko is sweet glutinous rice flour that's used to make mochi. I like this brand, Coda Farms, and you need 1 box of that. So they include a coco mochi recipe right here. Look at that. I also like to use mochiko to make homemade mochi as well. If you missed my ice cream mochi or my other mochi making videos, I'll put, again, links in the description. That's what it looks like. We're gonna dump the entire box into our bowl. And to that, we're going to add a lot of sugar. This recipe makes a lot of butter mochi. We're gonna make an entire 9 by 13 pan. So a lot of sugar. Crush up any sugar clumps, and then we're going to add some baking powder and salt and mix that together. So we've incorporated all our dry ingredients. Now let's do our wet. So in another bowl, we're going to combine our milk. Any percentage of milk will do, the recipe says. And I think some people use evaporated milk as well. And some eggs, 4. All right, whisk that all together. Ooh, look at that yellow color. There's one yolk that doesn't want to incorporate. There we go. We have a very sunny yellow mixture here. Nice and combined. All right, set that aside. Oh, almost forgot. A couple bloops of vanilla. Bloop. Bloop. All right, now this part's done. Now to our big bowl, I'm gonna switch to this whisk. We're going to add our wet to our dry. This seems like a large amount, but we are making a lot of butter mochi. Oh, it smells so good already. You can smell the vanilla, and it's pretty thick. You could use a mixer, hand mixer if you like, but I'm going to opt to just use my whisk here because we don't really need to add much air to this to aerate this at all, so that's good. We're not finished yet. We're going to add 1 stick of melted butter. Ooh, let me get my spatula and make sure we get every bit of that gorgeousness. And 1 can of coconut milk. I'm going to use full fat. Oh, look how thick it is. It doesn't even want to come out. Okay. This is sploosh all over the place. I knew that was coming. Yeah. Coconut cream's on top, and yeah. All right. Clean up a little bit here and continue mixing. Now this is getting a bit soupier. switch tools. Break that coconut milk up. So I'm gonna mix this well. And all those lumps you see are coconut milk bits. I suppose I should have shaken up my coconut milk before I added it in. So that's it for the batter. And as for my pan, I have a 9 by 13 pan. I'm gonna spray it. Boop, boop, boop. And now we're going to add our batter to the pan. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful. Now, Alana adapted this recipe from her mother, and she states clearly that this is a pretty important step for this recipe, and it is to tap this swiftly a few times to break up any air bubbles. So it does make a lot of noise, but I can see some bubbles floating on top. Are they popping? I don't know. Yeah, I think they are. Now we're going to take some unsweetened coconut. This doesn't have any additional sugar. And we're going to sprinkle that on top. And do this with a kind of light touch. We don't want the coconut to be sinking to the bottom. This is going to give us a nice little crispness on top. And then it's into a 350-degree oven. We're going to bake this for 1 hour. So, and depending on your oven, it may take 1 hour and 10 minutes. And then we're going to let it cool completely before slicing, because it is much easier to slice apparently when it's cooled off. So I will be back after this is baked and cooled off, and we can give this a taste. Alrighty, see you in a little bit. Ooh, that looks good. Perfect little amount of covering every little square inch. Okay, now I gotta make it to the oven. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back. I had time to go to the gym, and my beautiful butter mochi is complete. And look at this. It is gorgeous. Look at that. It makes quite a bit. And look at that golden crust on top. Doesn't that look fantastic? Oh, I cannot wait to taste this. And I wish you could smell it. It's a lovely combination of rich butter and coconut. Even if you're not a fan of coconut, I think you'll still like this scent. And vanilla too, it just smells so good. So I took it out of the oven, I placed it on a rack, and I let it cool. The directions say to let it cool at least to room temperature because it slices better that way. You can slice it right out of the oven, but you're gonna be challenged because it's gonna be really sticky. So this is just warm. It's been cooling. I took it out of the oven almost 2 hours ago, and the recipe says to wait at least an hour. So I have to eat this. So let me get a little plate. So the recipe recommends oiling your knife to cut it so it doesn't stick as much. Also, it says a plastic knife. I've got an oiled butter knife, and I'm gonna try that. It's also recommended in terms of portion size. They're very specific about portion size too, that you can cut this. Oh my gosh, it feels gorgeous. The texture, it's so bouncy. To cut this into 4 columns by 5 rows so that you get 20 pieces. Oh my gosh, I wish you could feel this. It feels so bouncy, and the top is nice and crispy. And the recipe also says that the topping of this transforms. Day 1, it's nice and crispy. Day 2, it's more of like a caramelized topping. Both sound delicious, but I'm hearing crunch right now. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna cut myself a piece like this, because I didn't cut my columns even either. That's all right. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so squishy. So this piece is gonna be a prettier piece, this edge one. But this corner piece is calling to me. Oh, it popped right out. Look at that. Oh. Crispy edge. Did not stick to the bottom. Glistening. Boink. Look at this texture. Boink, boink. Alrighty, let's give my first homemade butter mochi a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Mmm. Oh, is it ever rich and buttery and coconutty, but mostly buttery and vanilla. That crust on the top is lovely. It's kind of a light crust, but on the edge it's a little bit more crackly. Let me take another bite. The texture of the mochi itself is fantastic. Chewy, bouncy, but not as chewy as some mochis I've had where you're just really kind of having that kind of stretchy feel. This is more like a playful bounce, like a little whimsical bing, bing, bing. Delicious. In terms of flavor, it reminds me a lot of the impossible pie I made that has a coconut layer and it separates and it's kind of custardy. It has that flavor profile, kind of buttery, custardy, vanilla, and coconutty. That flavor with a mochi texture, really bouncy and playful texture. I think some people might not like this. Well, I shouldn't even say that because you should like this texture because it's so good. All right, I'm gonna go back to the edge. The edge is where it's at. It's light and crispy. It's almost like a cookie. Delicious. So good. Love, 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 love the texture and flavor. It's great. Alrighty, my lovelies. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like this video. Subscribe. And I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Mochi, 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 mochi. Awkward.